are only likely to be further emboldened. John Sudworth, BBC News, Hong Kong.
Well, I'm joined now by Tom Grundy, who's editor-in-chief of the Hong Kong Free Press independent news outlet. Tom, good to have you with us. What do you make of these latest arrests then?
Well, we've been following the crackdown today, and we've counted about 8 figures now that have been arrested, including a couple of lawmakers just in the past hour. These are all quite mainstream characters. They're not exactly organizers of the recent 13-odd weeks of protests that we've been seeing. They're not taking a lead, nor are they on the front lines, throwing firebombs or anything like that. It's a pretty leaderless movement. But they've been charged with things like inciting people to take part in an unlawful assembly, or for organizing or attending an unlawful assembly. And this is a rather archaic colonial-era law that we've seen brought out to charge people who took part in the 2014 pro-democracy umbrella movement protests as well. But I can't see it putting much of a damage on democracy that ended up triggering the umbrella movement in 2014. And although there has been efforts to ban that protest tomorrow, which was organized by a mainstream coalition of NGOs, people are still planning to come down and protest. It's very unpredictable, but in light of all this unlawful assembly arrests, people are being a little bit more imaginative about how and when and where they may be meeting tomorrow. So we're hearing activists who might be meeting up for a so-called shopping trip or for a mass football match. And some even saying they're going to gather for a religious gathering, which do not need police permission. So we're going into a very unpredictable Saturday, and if it's like recent weeks, it could end up with rather hairy scenes between police and protesters.
And just briefly, we've seen violent and non-violent protests. What do you think it will be like this weekend? I
think there is no doubt that there's going to be some flashpoints across Hong Kong Island, just according to the pattern of recent weeks, where police have been deploying tear gas, rubber bullets, sponge grenades, and protesters have been throwing bricks and on the front lines on occasions, as well as petrol bombs and using catapults against police even. And as we go into Sunday, as I check a huge spreadsheet we have over the upcoming protests, we've got an airport blockade and some strike action planned for Monday and Tuesday too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have days, if not weeks, more protests despite this crackdown today.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Tom Grundy, editor-in-chief of the Hong Kong Free Press.